Start game now. Welcome, retro fans, to another edition of the No Swear Gamer. Scrooge is back, and even though Scrooge is rich, he likes to pinch some pennies, so he brought us a budget title today. Let's see what he brought us. Firefly for the Atari 2600. Yeah, it's a Mythicon game. I believe it originally retailed for something like $10. It was pretty cheap when it came out, and it came with a very tiny manual. It looks like someone left it in the dryer. It's so cute and tiny. Check that out. You really need to have good vision to read this manual. Really, really small. Just part of their cost-cutting measures. And I think the artwork is as well, because it looks kind of like something maybe a high schooler did. You got kind of a spaceship crossed with some sort of insect, but it looks like the high schooler left it in his backpack out in the storm. It looks all dreary and smeary. But you know what? Don't judge a game by its cover. Let's go ahead and pop this into our Atari 7800 Pro system and just find out how good Firefly is. Let's go to the game. Firefly is from 1983. It's brought to us by Mythicon, and it is for 1 or 2 players alternating. It is a screen-to-screen space-style shooter game. The year is 2093. You were test piloting a spacecraft which malfunctioned and sent you into a black hole. You blacked out during this, and when you awoke, you found yourself in a strange planet that's inhabited by giant bug-like mechanical creatures. Now the good, peaceful creatures want you to take out all the bad creatures and are willing to give you a mechanical bug creature for you to ride in order to do so. Oh, and by the way, while you're at it, can you please save the pixie who's guarded by a mechanical bee, the last organic living life form on the planet? Sure, this sounds all good. Until you find out that they were actually the bad guys and they were lying to you, manipulating you to take out all the good guys and their queen. How about that? I may have added that last part. In Firefly, you go from screen to screen trying to defeat the bad guys. If you defeat them, the good guys reward you with some treasure. You'll face all sorts of creatures going from screen to screen, including bats, snakes, and a flaming pumpkin. How about that? Also on one of the screens will be the pixie guarded by that mechanical bee that pretty much goes about the speed of light and is nearly impossible to rescue due to this. You can use a joystick or ball controller to guide yourself from screen to screen. When you're on a screen, you cannot go backwards, you can't go to the left, but as soon as you go to the right, you will be transported to a new screen with a new enemy to defeat. And it doesn't matter if you defeated the previous enemy or not. If you want to try and skip ahead, you can do that as well. You do not have to defeat the enemy to move on. Pushing the fire button will allow you to shoot. You can shoot in many different directions, including diagonally. However, you can only do one shot at a time and must wait until your shot leaves the screen until you shoot again. I found this kind of arbitrary. I found sometimes I didn't know which way my shot was going to go, and sometimes I wasn't sure when I was going to shoot. So the shooting is quite difficult in this game. The game offers a practice mode and 2 different levels of difficulty. 4 points every time you shoot an enemy, you get 10 points. If you shoot the pumpkin enemy, you get 20 points. If you rescue Pixie, you get 30 points. And if you recover the treasure, you get 99 points. Because, ladies and gentlemen, treasure is worth more than saving the last organic life on a planet. So, yeah, for only 30 points, your best bet is just to skip the Pixie and move on to another screen. It is very difficult to rescue the Pixie without dying. That bee moves incredibly fast and is very difficult to see. Graphically speaking, the game isn't actually too bad for an Atari 2600 game. Your character looks unique, as does many of the different enemies. Most Atari 2600 games may only have 1 or 2 enemies. This one has a nice variety of them, and I could pretty much tell kind of what they were going for, even though to me the pumpkin just looked like a smiling face. I did like how he frowned when you shot him. I thought that was a cute touch. Musically speaking, it's a different ball game. There is this little ditty that plays throughout the game that is very annoying. It's like a weird, strange arpeggio that keeps on hitting these just grungy sounding low notes as it just jumps up and down and goes all over the place. This is a game you will probably want to mute when you play. This is a family-friendly game, except for one possible exception. Whenever you lose a life, the game pauses briefly and an icon that's supposed to be a joystick appears on the screen. Except to me, it kind of doesn't look like a joystick. It looks more like the game is giving you the birdie, if you know what I'm talking about. But other than that, this is a family-friendly game, and that's probably just my imagination going away. Hopefully the developers weren't up to something with that, trying to sneak something in. On eBay, it's uncommon to see this game. When you do see it, it doesn't cost too much. Loose copy, you're talking about $4 or $5, and that includes shipping. You want to throw the manual in with that, maybe, $9, $10. There was a new copy that also sold for $34. Originally, the game only retailed for $9.95, so I guess in a way it was a good investment. But what did I think of this game? Overall, I think this game is absolute garbage. This was just no fun to play at all. I didn't really feel like I was in control of the shooting. I didn't like how near impossible it was to rescue the pixie. I did like that you had a variety of enemies, but overall this game just wasn't fun to play. There were some interesting ideas in it, but the gameplay just really didn't feel well. Now, I did try this with a joystick, and I did try this with a trackball controller. And the trackball controller I used was a Sega Sports Pad, which was made for the Master System, but in the control setting you can actually use it on the Atari 2600. I do not have a 2600 trackball to use, but I did try it with this trackball. And what I found was, well, either way it's garbage. It doesn't matter if you play this game with a joystick or not, it is garbage. The manual claims that if you use the trackball, your score could go up. I found that to be just the opposite. I had better luck with the joystick. But overall, this is just a game that is not worth your time. So where am I going to rank it? Well, I'm looking at the bottom of my list. I would put it at the bottom, but Tax Avoiders just does bad so good. It's like an art form. I just can't find it in my heart to dethrone Tax Avoiders. So I'm going to put it right above Tax Avoiders and make it my new number 15 game. So there you go. Firefly, fly far away from Firefly. That is my recommendation. Hey, I am a part of the Retro Junkies Network. So is Ferg in the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast, and heaven help him, he's going to cover this game soon, and you can check that out as well. Thank you guys for giving me a little part of your day. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Go to either one and search for The No Swear Gamer. You can also feel free to share my videos on whatever social media site you use. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, even if the game is bad, if you enjoyed the review. So thanks again, guys, and I look forward to seeing you next time right here on The No Swear Gamer. Take care.